today we're doing gaming stuff. Recently, I was fortunate to have been invited by Nintendo to the ARMS preview event, and while I had some initial reservations, I'm proud to say that I actually had a pretty good time. Now, before I start my miniature preview of the game, let me remind you guys how much I love Nintendo, and I really do love Nintendo. That being said, I may or may not be slightly biased as any fangirl would be. But the best fans keep brands accountable through constructive feedback, so I'm gonna try my hardest to keep it real. First, I got to play solo to get a feel for the gameplay and the characters, where I found that Twintelle is my jam. Not only is she the only character that doesn't fight with her fists, but she fights and plays similar to my girl Bayonetta. Just validates the fact that hair can be a mighty weapon. I may or may not have gotten attached to Twintelle and then never let her go. As for gameplay, with a Joy-Con in each hand, the first thing that I noticed was the sensitivity of the motion controls. I mean that in a good way, but I can see it being frustrating in the end depending on how physical you are when you play the game. The base mechanics are fairly simple. In order to punch, you just push out one of your arms. In order to grab an opponent, you push out both arms. To block, you cross your arms or just bring your hands in. Adding some technique to the mix, you can curve your punches by pushing out and curving your Joy-Con. Your character has the ability to run and jump, and also has a meter that fills up as you give and take hits that, when used, can dole out massive amounts of damage in a short period of time. Moose Cat, I need you to get down. I found myself trying to minimize big movements to be able to stabilize my Joy-Con in order to counter or go for a grab. I would often physically exert myself more than I needed to, and it made it really hard to be ready for what came next. This is probably why I got knocked out so early in the miniature tournament they had at the event. I had the most fun in 1v1 with the new modes Hoops and Skill Shots, adding even more to a game beyond just throwing punches. In Skill Shot, your primary focus is on hitting pop-up targets with your punches and earning more points than your opponent on the other side of the arena. You can also sabotage your enemy by punching or grabbing them to prevent them from earning points. The person with the most points at the end wins. In Hoops, it's exactly how it sounds. Your objective here is to grab and dunk your opponent. You even get additional points for dunking from the three-point line. Punches can still be dished out, but you want to be the first to 10 points, and you're only gonna get there through dunk mastery. Another mode available is the 2v2 arena. This mode was definitely more complex and at times a bit more frustrating. In 2v2, you really have to work together and be a bit more tactical with your composition due to the fact that you can hit and grab your own teammate. If actions aren't being called out, you can find yourself on the wrong end of a grab or a power-up move. Friendly fire was probably about 50 or 60% of the damage received by either team I played with. This may end up especially frustrating for those casual players who may have teamed up with someone who maybe isn't as familiar with gaming. Kevin, stop punching your little sister. She was standing in the way! With all that in mind, I'd like to say that ARMS is probably going to end up being an enjoyable experience for even the most avid gamers and the most casual. It will definitely get your heart racing, your shoulders aching, and a new and innovative way to settle it in the ring with your friends and family. But seriously, take it easy. I work out weekly and I still got sore after 3 rounds. But on the upside, this could allow for all of us to have our own Rocky training montages. So that's a plus. All right, that's it for my ARMS preview. Pretty basic. Anticipate a full review after the game's release on June 20th for the Switch. Let me know what you think of the game in the comments down below, and if you're interested in playing for yourself, they are going to be having a global test punch, which is free of charge, the last weekend in May and the first weekend in June. So come play with me. Let's punch things. Let's let out our pent-up frustrations, and then maybe get tired and then take a nap and eat some snacks and maybe watch a movie. I don't know. Either way, I'll see you guys there.